her top.
Good evening. I'll call the West Mead Township Board of Supervisors public meeting to order for December 2021. Have a roll call.
Jordan?
Here.
Chartle?
Here.
Bovard?
Here. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please note that all supervisors' public meetings are subject to public and/or private audio and video recording. Is there any public comment on agenda items? Please note that public comment will also be received during each agenda item and at the end of the meeting. Entertain a motion to approve the November 9th, 2021 study session and regular meeting minutes as presented in our packets.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Jordan?
Yes.
Chartle?
Yes.
Bovard?
Yes. I'll entertain a motion to accept the treasurer's reports for November 2021 and approve the payment of bills in the amount of $91,892.43, subject to audit.
Make that motion.
Second.
Discussion? Somebody steal our credit card? Our bill's a lot lower this month.
Noted
We didn't have
down.
paving or a lot of the bigger expenses to pay for.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, but we're back to down where we
Well,
should be.
This has got some equipment repairs on it too, and I told you fellas, we had a rear end that we had to rebuild in the truck, and we have it back, so.
Any more discussion? All in favor of paying the bills, roll call?
Jordan?
Yes.
Chartle?
Yes.
Bovard?
Yes. Okay, municipal reports. Police Chief Chip Brown.
Good evening. For the month of November, you'll find that the number of calls is down dramatically. That's because of having an officer out on medical leave, one partially with COVID, and then with a couple that have resigned. So for November, we had a total of 12 complaints, with all 12 of them being cleared. Time spent in the school zones was a half hour. There were 4 hours of patrol time in the township, 17 and a half hours of report time in the office. 6 hours was spent on investigations, 8 hours was spent in court, and 2 hours of miscellaneous time. There were no traffic stops for the month, and for the investigations, there were 12. One animal complaint. We assisted fire and EMS once. We assisted citizens once. There was one fraud investigation. There was one call for criminal mischief, 2 calls of theft, 2 calls from theft from a motor vehicle, 1 theft of a motor vehicle, 1 vandalism, and 1 harassment complaint. And miles of all vehicles was 156 miles.
It'd be about the lightest month you've
Yeah.
ever had. But you're on the road to recovery, right?
We are. We have one that should be completing the process and getting on board. And then we have prospects, unfortunately not till after the first of the year, but, you know, we're only a few weeks out from that, so there's, you know, last month in October and November, it was looking pretty bleak because we didn't have any interest. And then the light switch went off and, you know, 2, 3, 4 different people have shown an interest, and it's just a matter of moving on and trying to get things coordinated and get things moving as far as getting them on board, because it's not an easy process anymore. You know, before you could, if you wanted to take a week to get somebody on board that's already been on the job and already working, you know, a couple hours on a computer here and there and let Harrisburg, you know, follow up with it and certify everything, and by the end of the week you could basically have somebody up and running. And it's not that simple anymore. Let alone somebody that's new, out of the academy, never been in police work. I mean, my frustration was getting the best of me. So Jill stepped in to help out. You know, thank goodness she did. She was frustrated at times too.
No.
And, you know, when we say that, you know, the hiring process is not easy, it absolutely is not easy. And, you know, she has a good grasp on the state system, and I think when she gets frustrated, there's some legitimacy to, you know, what we're dealing with. So after the first of the year, I think we're on a good track, and I think we'll be back in the game again.
So is it your intent to do any additional interviewing? I know there's been some.
There will be.
Okay.
I have one guy that I'd like you guys to meet.
Yeah, I'd like to put a face with a
Face
name.
with a name.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I would. So,
Yep. And again, it's all, you know, that, well, everything revolves around the dollar amount. You know, whether,
Yeah.
you know, you're talking about the rec complex, you're dealing with the sewer authority from the earlier meeting, everything comes down to the dollar amount. And so,
yeah, I know that very well.
so, and, you know, putting things into perspective and going from there.
Well, greatly appreciate your persistence and trying to move forward. It was tough to lose some of the officers we've lost, but they had good legitimate reasons for wanting to, you know, move on and better themselves, and you know, we're a stepping stone, and you know, we need to realize that for the most part, we're a stepping
And John
stone.
says that, John said that for years. And unfortunately, we absolutely are. You know, we cannot compete with the bigger cities. And, you know, we can't compete with Maple City. We can't compete with Mill Creek and Erie and some of the bigger agencies. The township just can't do it. They can't afford it. And unfortunately, in like in our end of things, if you pay the patrolman what the patrolman feels that he should be paid, you folks should be making 7 figures. I mean, it's just not feasible. And for some of these municipalities, I don't know how they do it. Because it's very expensive. Like you said, I don't begrudge anybody for bettering themselves. You know, everybody's looking for more money. But in the same token, you know, we kind of gotta play ball a little bit. And, you know, guys that do the job do it for the dedication that have been here for years, not for the end result or the dollar sign.
Well, and again, maybe it's come to a point where we need to start looking at some additional things. Everybody knows, you know, look what it costs for you to buy groceries today. Make a car payment, make a mortgage payment, pay your insurance, pay your medical bills.
Well, you know, it was funny. I just saw something the other day where, you know, unemployment's at an 8-year low, but people can't get people to work. You know, where are these people? You know, you know just as well as everybody else that, you know, working 2-3 jobs was nothing out of the norm, even as adults. But people don't want to do that. They just,
Yeah. Well, the working person's a dying breed. A hard-working person's a dying breed, as far as I'm concerned. Somebody who wants to be dedicated, committed, devoted. Not anymore. So,
Any more questions or comments for Chief Brown? Thank you very much, Chip. John, with the road report?
from 11/9 to 12/14 today, we've been continuing to try to vac leaves on both sides of the township. We've also been picking bagged leaves up pretty much so on a daily basis. And we're using a blower right now to try to clean ditches that is donated by Soil Conservation to any municipality, not just West Mead. But we currently have it, and we are currently using it to try to open some of our ditches and some of the areas that are further out into the country. We also finished up the last round of mowing to the parks, and we started fall cleanup, which includes leaves, garbage, and winterizing the bathrooms to try to make sure that they're good to go in the spring. We actually had 7 days of actual winter, which very little and minimal plowing, but it did put us out there to put down some thawing agents to get the roads clear. We had some equipment maintenance and service. We've also switched over the last 2 trucks for the winter season, so all the equipment is currently ready. With a state contract that we carry, we have to have, at least 2-3 pieces of equipment ready to go, and we try to do that how they do it so that we can service their roads because we are under a contract with them. So we also started and service and repairs to all of our summer equipment, which includes the roller, paver, seal coat distributor, and the berming machine and the Champion grader. Also, all of the winter no parking signs are up and enforceable. Also, we've been out repairing road signs and posts and lights, especially after last weekend's high winds and rain. And we've also been cleaning up after the high wind and rain over the past weekend due to trees down and plugged ditches and culverts. And that pretty much so was our month. We had to repair a driveway down on Tamarack that blew over. We finished and repaired that driveway today. Again, our leaf vac is still currently down. We're using a borrowed piece of equipment that is a quarter of the size of our regular machine. We borrowed a machine from the city of Meadville that helped us for quite some time. We're not done by any stretch, so if you have leaves, call. We'll get them if we can, but it's a very, very slow process. It's taken us backwards about 10 years here. So, but again, we're doing the best we can. And again, we're currently down 2 guys on a medical leave. So we're down by 2 people. So there's 3 of us, and we're doing the best we can. Call if you have a problem. Jill will take the call. Mary will take the call. She'll get it to us.
I've been telling people to bag their leaves
Yep.
if they,
That works.
because they're not maybe getting them as quickly as you
Leaves.
normally would.
Yeah, but no brush and no grass clippings, that thing. They get too heavy to pick up, and you can't throw them up into a dump truck. And, the guys showed up with a whole dump truck load of leaves today. And, then you gotta, they aren't biodegradable bags, so you gotta cut them and, get rid of them. So I just keep them as light as you can, if you will. So that's our month.
All right, any questions or comments for John? Thank you, sir. Jill with the zoning report?
For the month of November, we just had 1 permit for a residential addition, a nice big addition onto a home for $85,000. And I did help the police this past month or so, some of the burning complaints or some of the questions, and instead of passing it along, I tried to handle what I could to help with some of the less officers available.
Well, thank you very much. Any questions for Jill?
Nope.
That happens to be right next door to my house.
Yes. It's going to be a nice addition.
Yes. All right, move on to the regular business for the meeting. Entertain a motion to accept the resignation of Matthew Jastrom as a full-time employee with the West Mead Township Road Department effective January 2nd, 2022.
That's a tough one there. I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Discussion on that motion. I understand that
Yeah,
Matthew got an offer he couldn't refuse,
yeah.
and it's regrettable that he's leaving here.
Yeah.
You said that he's been a really good employee and dedicated employee.
He's a rarity is what he is. He's been a stellar employee, he really has. Can't say anything bad. I wish I could replace him with two more. So it'll be tough for us. We'll get through it though.
We wish Matthew the best in his future. Any more discussion? Roll call?
Jordan,
Yes.
Chartle,
Yes.
Bovard.
Yes. Item number 2, entertain a motion to award a contract to Reed Oil Company for the purchase of unleaded gasoline and diesel fuel to be effective January 1st, 2021. 2021? Or should it be 2022?
22. Yeah, you're right, Donnie.
And it's not unleaded gasoline, it's just diesel fuel.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, right.
All right.
Apologize, it's
Right.
only, yes.
I'll read that again.
So, yeah, let's start over.
I'll entertain a motion to award a contract to Reed Oil Company for the purchase of diesel fuel to be effective from January 1st, 2022 to December 31st, 2023. So it's a
2022.
2022. It's a
Yes,
one-year
It's a
contract.
one-year
Right.
contract, and then if we
Okay.
wanted to amend it to do it for an additional year, we could.
Okay.
Yeah,
So we're buying diesel fuel for 1 year,
Yes.
2022, calendar year 2022. Anyone want to make that motion?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
And any more discussion on that motion?
Yep, just gotta feed the generator.
Okay. Roll call?
Jordan?
Yes.
Chartle?
Yes.
Bovard.
Yes. Item number 3 is to review the proposed 2022 budget. Hasn't changed since we had our first reading last month. So is there any final review, any final comments from the supervisors?
Well, the only thing I have to say is that, you know, we've managed to hold the line on taxes, but, you know, our income keeps going down. Our equipment keeps getting wore out. Our equipment to replace it just keeps getting higher and higher and higher. So, as far as I'm concerned, it wouldn't be fair to be sitting here and tell people that we don't have to think about a tax increase every year, because I'm afraid that the time is going to come when we're going to have to do something to offset this cost and to try to get more road work done. You know, we're sitting on 2 trucks out here right now that have, well, actually, we have 3 out there that have, one of them has 116,000 on it, and the other 2 are bumping right tight to 100,000 miles on them. And, you know, and currently Mike and I are talking about, and not keeping you out of the loop, you're in the loop too, but we're been talking to some different vendors to try to pick something that would fit us, and we haven't quite got to that point yet. But I think we need to be talking about it, because you're 18 months to 2 years out to get a piece of equipment. So
To even get it.
yeah. And here we sit with at least 2 that should be probably be thinking about being replaced. But again, you know, to do it, you know, there's a lot of money there.
Well,
2 trucks
And
are
I'll tell you
probably-
something, and I mean, I know there's taxes and everything. We probably should raise taxes, but the way we've been doing a couple of these last equipment purchases, boring for myself, and we are paying them back, and I know we have one more payment left on the Mack truck, correct? One more year, Joe, after this one here? 2?
This is our 3rd,
Yeah.
so next year and the year after.
2, yeah.
You know, and
In the back.
we've not went to lending institutions, we've been borrowing from ourselves and paying ourselves back. And it seems to be working okay, but I know there's probably going to be, I don't want to see a time that we have a shortfall and then we can't pay ourselves back, because that is just,
Well, you know, Mike, it's another thing too, we're doing that, trying to get through, but boy, if we ever had a crisis
oh,
here.
I know.
You know, we've had years where we've had $300,000 worth of summer storm damage.
Yeah.
And you're relying on FEMA, PEMA, and places like that to come in. They're not always gonna come in here and try to support us, you know? So I get your point, though.
But, I mean, I think this budget here, I mean, we got to live within our means, and we're going to have to really living within our means here, but just the way the situation is with the COVID and that, and people right now seem to be struggling with the rate of inflation and everything. I just don't feel good about raising taxes this year.
Here's another thing I'll share with you, too. When we had to go through the rebuilding of the rear end of that truck, because, you know, it took us forever to get parts, and it took us forever to get a commitment that we could even get the part. And when we did get that commitment, if this would have been in, I'm going to say, a year and a half ago or 2 years ago, that bill would have been about $1,900 just for the part. That bill was $2,900 because of what we're up against. Availability and shipping
Yep.
and all that.
Everything.
Supply and demand thing that they lay on you.
Yep.
And it's getting ridiculous, the amount more that we have to pay just to turn the lights on in here every day.
Yeah. So,
So I'm just saying that, you know, this budget is what it is. We've adopted it, we've accepted it, but they're getting tougher and tougher to live. You know,
so,
Hey, any more comments? Is there any public comment on the 2022 budget? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to adopt resolution number 2021-13, adopting the 2022 budget, and resolution number 2021-14, setting the real estate tax millage for 2022 at 4.25 mils.
so moved.
second.
Any more discussion? Just like to reiterate what John and Mike have already said, is that this is pretty much a bare bones budget. We do like to underestimate revenues and overestimate expenditures so that we can live within our means and not have to raise taxes. Don't mean to disagree with you, John, but our revenues actually went up, and that's not including the $262,000 that we got in ARPA funds. They still went up
Yeah,
this year.
I mean,
Maybe they're not going up as fast as our expenses are going
No,
up, but
that's for
the
sure.
revenues are going up.
you get a little exhausted beating people up every time you go to the repair store and crying about you don't want to pay that bill, you want to pay that much. You know, they get tired of hearing it. But when they start laying it out right dead in front of you and you can't dispute it, how do you not pay it?
You got to pay it.
There you go.
Okay, any more discussion? Roll call.
Jordan?
Yes.
Chartle?
Yes.
Bovard?
Yes. Okay, please note that our reorganizational meeting will be on January 3rd, 2022 at 5 PM, followed by the regular monthly meeting. Is there any comment from the public at this time? You here to talk about what we don't want to talk about this month?
No, just came to enjoy the meeting.
Good guy. Good deal. Good to see you.
You can come back then.
Yes. Welcome.
We won't talk about it next month either. No.
Yeah.
Is there any final comment from the supervisors? Michael?
I just want to wish everybody a happy holiday and a safe holiday, and be careful. We're being blessed right now with nice weather, and one of these days it's probably going to turn around, it's gonna bite us, we're gonna get the white stuff. But just have a nice holiday, that's all I have, that's all I have to say tonight.
That's about all I have to say is this is a blessing. Every day we wake up like this, this is truly a blessing,
Oh, yeah.
absolutely.
Well,
So,
we are very blessed, and my heart, and I think all of our hearts go out to our fellow Americans down in Kentucky and Arkansas, Tennessee, Illinois, all the states that were affected by the tornadoes over the weekend. A lot of loss of life and a lot of devastation down there. And it's terrible any time of year, but especially the holiday season. So I'd like to keep those folks in our thoughts and our prayers. I'm going to be politically incorrect. I want to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
second.
Discussion will be adjourning to an executive session for personnel. Executive session for personnel. Any more discussion? Roll call?
Jordan?
Yes.
Chartle?
Yes.
Bovard?
Yes. Thank you very much. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and please have a safe month. Thank you.